Welcome back to Y2K. We've gotten swole and we're going to go see Bella again.
Well, we haven't quite gotten swole until we've gone through the mine dungeon again to get those last couple of stats.
Yeah, which we can do here, fortunately. We still have to go back to Alex's house in order to call Bella. I don't know why we can't just do that from the payphone, but...
Also, there's something slightly off that I noticed about this level up screen before. It's the fact that this is about as nitpicky as I think I can get, but the fact that the stat increase is preceded by a minus, and then the name of the stat, and then the plus, and then the number is a little bit...
Yeah, I saw that, and first I thought Michael's stats were going down.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused as well by that, so...
Yeah, that's not a great look. We don't have to run all the way back down to the last floor we were at. We just kind of start there, so it's nice, I guess.
Thank heaven for small favors. I mean, I don't intend to thank the makers of this game for anything.
Unfortunately, they're not really doing us any favors right now anyway. I'm going through these stats, and no matter how I slice it, Alex's stats are just straight up not as good as Michael's.
I'm a little curious as to why that one door has a pair of eyes on it, though.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I thought maybe that was, that was one of these things where maybe if I go in there, there'll be a monster or something, but no. Just a normal door. Oh, hooray, a new skill. Smooth jazz, it puts targets to sleep.
I mean, I understand that smooth jazz can be relaxing, but outright putting someone to sleep? I feel as though Alex's monologue might do that.
Yeah, he really could just go into his own little world and let people wait for him to finish. That would put me to sleep. For some reason, I keep putting everything in speed. I thought this was like Darkest Dungeon rules, where speed's the only stat that matters.
Not a bad assumption by any account, but
I think by the end of this, I end up with like 43 speed or something.
Excellent. Actually, that does bring up a question about what exactly speed governs in this game, because, I mean, since the actions are all turn-based and it always seems to follow the pattern of Alex followed by Michael followed by opposition, I mean, and the fact that all of the results of any given combat action are minigame based, then what is speed even accounting for?
That's a very good question, and I'm happy you asked it about 2 floors before I figured that out. I think this is about the point where I stopped putting points in speed. I'm still convinced, though, that had I put all my points in strength, Alex would still be shitty compared to Michael. Mostly because his minigame is a lot more difficult.
True, and as we pointed out before, you don't seem to get rewarded for especially good performance in it.
It's really weird, As a player, I want to have some kind of feedback for how I'm doing, right?
Right.
That's not unreasonable. But this game is just like, well, you can do 1 damage or you can do 2 damage.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the whole aspect of satisfaction from combat, the feeling as though hits and actions on the player's part actually have tangible impact. But, I mean, in a Paper Mario where you get nice flashy effects even for very small numbers or small increases in numbers, again, as I've said, in this game the signaling doesn't really seem to be there.
Well, better games that have sort of mini-games while you're attacking, for example, Shadow Hearts, as you said, but also stuff like Lost Odyssey, games like that will give you something to do, and that's the purpose of having mini-games, right? It's there to occupy you while the animation's playing out, because you can't skip the animation. But this game just sort of front-loads everything into the minigame, and oops, it doesn't matter anyway.
I saw you briefly agonizing about your speed decision there.
Yeah, I'm trying to break myself with a habit. To Alex's credit, if this was Darkest Dungeon, I would be soloing the final boss about now.
Well, you never know. Maybe it's not too late for that to happen.
Are you saying it's not too late for me to stop playing this game and go play Darkest Dungeon?
No, I'm saying that it's not too late for this game to become an Eldritch Horror title where there's a decent possibility that Alex might die partway through it.
I'm kind of thinking that's what discount Starmen are supposed to be.
Yeah, as I say, I kind of get that aspect of it, but the thing about doing Eldritch Horror is I think the alien nature of it needs to be expressed a little bit differently.
I see you settled into the mine dungeon quite well. Have you met the librarian? Oh,
I was not expecting a monologue in my level ups.
She's on floor 15. There is a girl who minds the place all by herself.
Well, at the very least,
Tell
it's
her the
not
crow
from Alex,
told you
and
to come
it's
read
actually
old memories.
explaining something to us.
She will show you.
I
the
wonder if
rest.
Crow named Marlene shows
Before you
up on
go,
like ASMR
I
videos
feel
or
like I
something, because
should
that seems
warn
like it would
you
be
about
right
that
up his alley.
I'm gonna take a look at
Ask
the voice
whatever
actor for
questions you
Marlene
want,
after this,
but
and,
remember, she may
or
not
Crow named Marlene
answer.
specifically, and see if we
There
can't
are things
figure
I
that out.
cannot say, and things
And yeah, I can
she
see how,
certainly
again,
can't.
we were talking about
However,
the
she
thing around her
ask
neck, or his neck being a
questions.
scarf, but
Ask as
look at it
many
from
as
this
you
angle,
can
it's very
think of.
clearly a solid object.
That will be your job. Whenever you
Yeah, it is
are
now, but I
in the
couldn't see
dungeon of
that,
the
and
mine,
you know,
you
the
are free
pixel
to
graphics
do
were so
as you
shitty in the post-title
Understand.
screen bit that, you know, it's very easy to see that it's at least something, and, you know, if the shoe fits, I guess.
You know, I absolutely understand given the circumstances.
One thing that's kind of unusual about this floor is that, you know, it seems like you have to go down to the next floor to officially reach a level and get your stat bonuses, right?
Right.
But Alex just gets to keep that LP toss for free.
I think the implication, rather, is that you're able to get these stat bonuses on the floor, but they're not considered locked in until you actually go through the door, at which point they are the effective increase for that level, or I guess the prior level, technically.
I mean, I guess, but that would imply that when you actually level up, you don't get stat bonuses. It's that each of these doors is incremental, except they're really not, because you can open them at any time.
I guess that's what I'm saying, which is that when the door is actually opened, then that is when the stat change takes effect. So
Yeah.
your payment of XP on the floor previous isn't confirming your stat increases for the floor you were just on. It's just giving you access to the next tier.
I understand. That makes sense. In a roundabout, alien sort of way, which is about the only way that anything in this game makes sense.
Yeah, it's not signaled properly. Again, this game has good ideas that are only half executed properly.
This game has good ideas buried under a half mile layer of pretentiousness.
And then at other times just has ideas that didn't quite follow through properly and needed a little bit more review before.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what you and I have been saying so far. Like, this game does, on a blue moon, have good ideas, like the money tree. The money tree is great.
And your
money tree won't do you wrong.
And your soccer ball run is amazing there. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I tried very hard on it.
I don't know about you, but I feel stronger. I think you can see my biceps now.
I don't know why they're
Hell
talking
yeah.
like they're... Oh my god. Don't ever say hell yeah again.
I'm not really worried about how I look. I'm more concerned about how I feel. Yeah, you would say that.
Ignoring that, do you think we're strong enough to call Vela up?
Probably not. But might as well give it a shot if we can find anything good on Onism. If you logged on
If you're like me, you hear, let's go find something good on Onism and think that you're going to be able to go to the totally not Netscape Navigator and go find something good on Onism, right?
Right, but at the same time, I thought the objective was to call Vela at some point.
Yes, but we have to have something from Onism in order to call Vela. So I'm getting down to doing some internet sleuthing.
Hey, Michael. Check this out. Someone sent me a PM.
Of course, the game does it for me.
Thank heaven for small favors. Again, based on what the objective was previously, I would have said, you know, regardless of what was actually just said in that previous conversation, oh, we hit level 5, let's go talk to Vela.
Well, no.
So what do you think?
We still have to find something
Enough to
good,
bother Vela about?
but I was kind of expecting the game to give me at least some agency here.
Probably not bad.
You know, the one semi-original thing I've seen so far was being able to go on not Mozilla Firefox and go poke through BBSs, which, as it turns out, is one of my exceedingly rare real-life strengths.
Well, considering where we're placing this LP, there's hope for that
Hey, Vela.
yet.
It's Alex. Some kid sent us an email saying his sister vanished.
Really?
Okay, this one
Yeah,
actually is
so
cut
much
off
for the
between
elevator
1,000 and
girls.
4,000 hertz.
Okay, and he wants us to come check it out? I'll meet you at the Frankton bus stop. That's the best way to get there without a car.
You want to leave now?
Oh my
Yes.
god, Alex.
I don't have work till tomorrow afternoon, so it would be best for me to do it today so I can get some sleep.
But Vela...
Fair enough.
Oh, and Alex, I thought you should know. The elevator girl has a name. Her name is Semi Park. I was able to get some information on her.
That's
I'll share
Pac.
it with you in person.
Yeah, that definitely says pack.
Yeah, but it's really weird. Everybody from this point on refers to her as Semi Park. It's not like it's a deliberate discrepancy, I think. I think somebody goofed on this translation,
Or
question mark?
or maybe it is just something about how Korean is Romanized nowadays, but I've only ever seen it as P-A-R-K in the past.
Same, actually, and it's a common last name among Koreans, right?
Right. I don't know, I'm not...
Oh no, ghosts.
Oh no, creepypasta. I'm not exactly up on romanizations of Korean these days, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, sorry, I slept through that class thread. Oh, hey, Bella.
Okay, you boys ready? I got us the tickets already. We just take this bus to the first stop outside Frankton, and then it's just a 4-mile walk to Wintown.
Alright,
4 miles?
calm down, Alex.
That's pretty far. Shouldn't we just call a cab?
If you'd like to pay for it, go ahead.
We could always call your mom.
No. Walking's fine. It's, good for your body.
Didn't Alex say before, when he was talking to Sammy, that he could borrow his mom's car? He did say that, right?
I'll take your word for it.
When we sat on the bus with Vela,
Your efforts to remember what happened
she was a different
4
person.
episodes ago are well
the edge to her
noted.
personality had dulled a little. And she
Thank
seemed
you.
almost happy to see us.
It's a low bar to set, but I'll take it.
We were just leaving Frankton when she
I really
told us what she thought
appreciate
about
this
Sammy.
maybe kind of the
Sammy
Velvet Room
Park
reference.
was a 23-year-old Korean American who had moved to Frankton from the city. She was an
Well, we
only
did
child,
confirm she's
lived
Korean,
with her
so
mother
again, that
until she
might just
moved to
be
Frankton on
something
March
about
2nd
how
for a job. She was some sort
Korean
of legal
surnames are
cleric and
Romanized
hadn't
these
even
days.
begun working yet when she vanished.
This is another thing.
Apparently,
Remember how we were
organization she
saying
was
that
going to
maybe
work
the
for was a
Marlene that
public
we
TV
talked to
Korean
before was
news
an
show.
imposter?
The friend who got her the job did the
I
reporting.
think they're kind of maybe hinting
have
that
no
the
leads.
Sammy we
He's
talked to
currently
was
being treated as a
also
missing persons
an
case.
imposter?
Ah,
Where exactly did you find out all this?
certainly explain her behavior.
I read about it in a Korean newspaper.
Are you Korean?
No. Do I look Korean?
It's hard to say. You look vaguely ethnic?
Really? That's what you're going with? Maybe it'd be best if you just didn't mention race again. Somehow it comes off so awkward when you do it.
Thank you for saying it,
I
so
just
we didn't
meant,
have
like,
to.
you know, exotic.
Come on, Alex.
Oh my
None of the
God.
other girls around here look like you.
Oh,
Stop.
come on.
Please, just stop. This is seriously uncomfortable now, Alex. Anyway, my boss at the Frankton Arcade is Korean.
We really
And he
needed
always keeps newspapers
that
around.
as
I saw the
to
picture of
kind of
Sammy
grasp
and asked
Alex's
him about
thought
the story.
process because, you
I called the
know,
police and
we
asked them
wouldn't
if
have-
they'd seen the video, and they said that the detective in charge
we
of the case would
wouldn't
get back to me
have
shortly.
been able to just move on from
This
this
was 4
scene
days
if he had
ago.
chosen not to
I
bring that
find it
up.
unlikely he ever.
And it's not like we could have figured out, you know,
not
that
surprised, really.
Alex has interesting
Seems
views
like no
on
one
women
cares that
based
she's
on that
missing.
extended monologue he had about
I'll
what
check
his
through more newspapers
female
then,
friends in
see
high
if there are
school
any
were
leads.
doing now.
Might not be a bad idea to try and talk to the woman who
So
reported
again, I
missing
can only
after
sort
we
of
visited
come
the
away
dining
with
room.
this idea that the story is in fact expecting
didn't
us
say it at the
to
time.
buy that Alex
Something
is
felt
actually a
off.
terrible person and that his
The Sammy
hopeful
I met was
improvement is,
strange. She
or
didn't
his
seem like the
impetus
kind of
to
girl who'd
improve
be
is
brought up
something
in
that we're
city
going to
blues with a
explore
small
through this
town
story,
working for a
but
television
it's
station.
just so
People who
it's
don't know what
just
elevators
so
are usually aren't
half-assed
capable
about
of
it.
such tasks.
I think this is really one of these, like,
Sammy
tee-hee,
used
look how awful
may
our
have looked
protagonist
something.
is kind of
There was a
things.
difference there. I could feel it.
You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to get in on the joke, but they're going so far with it that it's not really aware at all.
So, how far are we again from Windtown?
And there are times when it just doesn't
Not
feel
too
like
far. 4
intentional.
miles northeast
Yeah.
of here.
For instance, I just saw the phrase
We don't
"my
need to cross
Sammy"
any more
in there,
highways,
and I
so
just
if we
kind of
approach
went,
Oh,
one,
you
we're
noticed
going
that,
the wrong
did
way.
you?
was that actually meant to be?
Okay.
Was that actually meant
do
to be a commentary on his awfulness, or is that just a phrase that got put in there because, hey, let's go ahead and use the possessive in referencing this other person whose presence in the story is largely just to motivate our protagonist.
Note that thus far, every lady that Alex has talked to so far, well, all 2 of them, I guess, have had negative receptions to him, right? Like, this seems to be a running theme.
Well, if you count his mom, that's actually 3.
Yeah, but I think this is one of these Charlie Brown things where the mom doesn't actually show up. Maybe it's like the Binding of Isaac, and Alex's mom is secretly the final boss and responsible for everything. That would be a hell of a twist, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would, actually. I have no idea how it would tie into postmodernism, however.
Hello, vocal track. I remember that you're there. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Excellent. Also, depending on what happens next, we may need to engage in a little bit more of a discussion on the subject of postmodernism.
Yeah, I really hope we don't have to, because that sort of shit makes my brain hurt. But I will try.
It's okay, buddy. We'll take this journey together, and I'll do my best to put my years of art experience to use.
Yes, your years of quote-unquote experience.
Yeah.
This game going full Night in the Woods for a moment.
Hey, look! We're in Chicago!
Did you just laugh?
Yes, that's a thing people can do,
This is the
Alex.
first time I've heard you do that.
I do it all the time. Well, usually it's in my head. And normally it's aimed at you two.
Ouch.
Did this guy tell you where to meet him
Rightly so.
specifically?
Well, crap. No, he didn't.
Well then, I guess this is where we start.
Oh, well
asking
done,
any
Bella.
Late night street crawlers for information.
How do you propose we do that?
Find the nearest person and ask them about the girl who disappeared here recently. Pretty easy, actually. Just be direct, Alex. They won't bite. Well, maybe they won't. This town is pretty suspect.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's give it a
I
try.
like how Vela had to explain to Alex how to talk to people.
Yes, that's a thing that you can do.
This game, man. I feel as desolate as this environment we find ourselves in.
So, remember how Vela was saying this town is kind of suspect? And how she said that people wouldn't actually try and murder you for talking to them.
Well, I don't know that she said that, but...
Well, she kind of implied it.
Fortunately, he's 4 levels lower than everyone in the party, and considering how we performed against things 6 levels higher, I don't really see this being an issue.
Even though this guy actually has, like, really high hit points for some reason, even though he's, like, 4th level. I don't know if he's supposed to be a mini-boss or what.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Vela just have the exact same combat minigame as Semi before her?
Yeah, she did. Naturally, it's my favorite one, because you can't really fuck it up.
Oh no, but again, it's just clear the lack of effort shines through once more.
She doesn't get Sammy's, like, free 10 hits or whatever it was with Dolly, though. We do get his hook hands,
Excellent.
which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, Alex gets hook hands. I forgot about that.
Might as well. Also, you're absolutely correct about bad stats, but boy is his speed up there.
I noticed that, did you?
Mm-hmm. I also noticed we're getting into yet another random encounter. Guess that answers my question as to whether we were in another grinding episode.
Yep. Yes, we are. Surprise!
I think that's the first instance I've seen of the opposition going first.
I think it's supposed to be an ambush, but I don't know if this game has those. Underpaid cashier is built like a truck.
When you work in retail, apparently the things you learn will fundamentally change you as a person.
Yeah. Retail makes you strong.
I'm gonna go with resilience.
So remember how I was saying in the last episode that Panda is supposed to block for 3 turns, and you saw that, right?
I slightly missed the text. I was honestly just taking a look at what you were going to do next, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that Panda does not, in fact, protect for 3 turns or against 3 attacks.
Well, it says he's supposed to, so I'm like, okay, great, there's 1 enemy here, so I get 3 free turns of not being beat on. Nope. See you later, Panda.
Yep. Yep.
He blocked the whole 1 damage for me.
Also, it strikes me, I really could have commented on this last time, but you did get a new LP, but the pattern on your Judgment Ring is exactly the same.
Yeah, because it would make too much sense to change that around.
I'm going to just go ahead and assume that it's completely consistent throughout the entire game.
I do not know so far. I was kind of not sure what to do about this one. I think this is her super.
Evidently. Clearly it took some hard work. Maybe you'll happen upon another one of those later.
Yeah, I hope so. We got 17 XP for that 3 minutes of my life. Oh boy.
So it's one of those, is it?
Yes.
Because of course this game has to go there.
It's not merely enough to pad out the length of the game unnecessarily by making us do fetch quests and favor for a favor type thing with everybody in town, right? On the plus side, they apparently have really good food in this vending machine.
Get a full BLT out of it. I'd certainly not complain about the presence of that vending machine in my lousy tank town.
Oh, I wouldn't either, but I would not want to eat anything that came out of the only vending machine in town. Especially not a $9 BLT. There is another record store, though. I was kind of hoping Poverty Pamela would have some sick LP recommendations, but she doesn't. Neither does English Student. Oh, fuck you.
Oh my god. On the plus side, Cashier Man continues to do his cool thing of keeping a pool behind the counter.
Yeah, I actually do like that gag. It's not as funny the second time, because I'm expecting it now, but it's still a pretty good gag.
It needs a slight variation on it, like he jumps back and then, you know, an inflated dolphin just flies out from somewhere.
Or he jumps back and when he resurfaces, he's in an inner tube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would make it great. It's still pretty good, but I don't have enough money to give him for the newest, hottest LP from the 70s. I came over here because for some reason the camera kind of bugged out and I thought this was where I was supposed to go, but I'm not.
So I was gonna say, you know, credit to the game for very clearly framing that one girl under that tree as being, you know, oh, this is someone important to speak to, but maybe that's not the case. Well, that was 3 very different thoughts you just had, Goth Kid.
I think they wrote these 3 bits of dialogue at different times and just mashed them together. Oh no, another person who wants to murder us. And he's got an actual gun.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I was gonna be like, oh, you're gonna beat up a kid? What a bunch of jerks. And then, no,
then he starts shooting an actual gun.
And then actual bullets started flying, and I went, well, okay, guess this is where we're going.
Fortunately, our defense is so high that it only does like 1 or 2 damage to us, so that's cool, I guess.
Clearly, he's using one of those postmodern guns.
Stop or I'll shoot you with our invisible guns.
Oh, that bit.
I'm not happy about having to beat up literally everybody in town.
Well, at least the goth kids seem to be content to just complain about their lot in life as well as the people in the record store.
I'm happy that those people, you know, didn't want to murder us. Yep, 17 XP for that again.
Mm-hmm.
I sure do feel really invested.
You're not allowed to talk to that kid, but you're allowed to carry your gun around.
I hope it's not his gun. Jesus. He said something about talking to the vampire kid, so naturally I thought about the goths, right?
Right.
It's not the goths. Oh god.
I
thought it was this. I looked at this one. I said, I mean, he's purple, but he doesn't look like a goth.
But he is also holding a gun, so...
Yeah, why does everybody in this town have guns? Is it like the Wild West thing they're going for?
They do have the kind of symmetry going on of one of them being the cop and one of them being the robber.
I also like how this one's a palette swap of the other one. Don't games usually have to get into the second act before they start recycling models and stuff?
True, but I can sort of respect that it works for the sake of a gag. I don't exactly appreciate that that gag is something that requires us to go through these 2 separate fights, but sure.
Oh, I did, by the way, figure out how to use time energy. I still didn't get the dodge. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, gave it a very good try. And plus, the thing with affecting time in the middle of an event like that is that you then have to kind of readjust for the change in speed when you try to time something like that. So, use of time energy doesn't actually seem that helpful, despite what that would look like.
So, I figured out that there was somebody at the graveyard, but I'm totally going to abuse this water fountain before I go talk to her.
That's fair. That said, again, I maintain that the game seems to be framing that girl under the tree as being the sort of most important figure in this whole arrangement for when you want to stop.
She is not the most important figure in this arrangement.
Really?
And yes, you would be forgiven for thinking that. Again, that would make way too much sense.
Oh, game. Someday you'll learn. Someday you guys will learn how to signify these things properly.
So, count it. This is fight number 4 in Windtown. But I guess she is the goth kid because she's got 2 skulls with her. Still bad.
As I said, the time energy part doesn't really help when you're needing to readjust for the shift in time. So I would be curious, check next time if you're able to use it on offensive actions as well.
I have not actually tried it for offensive actions. At least, not that I remember. We've taken out her support, so let's go for the main event, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And enjoy the music in the meantime.
Yeah, this track is back.
Yep.
I can't wait for it to get good in 3 minutes. Though at the rate this fight is going, we might actually hit that limit.
When you're making a Paper Mario Shadow Hearts-esque combat system, one thing to note is that having your opponent be the giant sack of HP when they're not actually a boss is just wears out the fun in your system. Because the stakes on consistent execution really aren't there, and you really just kind of create this feeling of the fights dragging out way more than they need to.
Which perhaps that's the postmodern part about this game. It's an RPG that's not designed to be fun.
Again, I feel as though our previous observation was actually pretty apt, that this isn't a postmodern RPG, this is a Dadaist RPG.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. I do stand by that assessment. Let's see if we can finish her off with a couple good camera whips, I guess.
You just gave her the Michael Bay.
I guess I did.
Because you saw the command there was B-A-Y, and he's Michael, so.
Hey.
Dun, dun. Joke ruined, thank you very much.
I'm gonna put a rim shot in this for you.
You're too good to me, Daikorn.
This is actually the house with the big fancy gate, but they said to go south, so I started going south. Oops.
Oh well. On the plus side, you found the hidden trash can.
Yeah, I did. That was a very well hidden trash can.
And at the risk of foreshadowing something, I will say good job on not talking to that one guy who was probably going to fight you.
Yeah, I kind of figured out by this point that everybody I talk to that I get, like, quote-unquote wrong is probably going to try and beat the shit out of me, so let's just not do that. I think this was about the point where I was wondering, Jesus Christ, how far south is this guy's house? It's not this water tower, is it?
On the plus side, I can appreciate that you do end up out by this water tower at some point, because this seems almost kind of like a hidden path, almost like there'd be some kind of bonus associated with it, but...
Oh no, I am 100% sure this is a story location later in the game. Especially because that memorial is there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see if we can go bust into that gate.
Well, I'll give it this, it's certainly the nicest house, or at least the most, the one that stands out the most, and potentially for this town that's apparently in economic turmoil, a fairly well-off one.
Yeah, I gotta say, it is the one that looks the least like a trailer home, so I assume I'm on the right track. Let's go ahead and fill up at our canteen.
I also like how you were very clearly trying to just walk over that very small amount of grass there, but then remembered, I mean...
There's a very small incline there. There's a very small differential between where the grass ends and the parking lot begins.
I mean, waist-height fences in RPGs are a common thing, but in 3D ones like this, that's getting kind of ridiculous. Calm down, game. You don't need to be that committed to the aesthetic.